Hello and welcome to the Streamline and Shine podcast. My name is Steff Bolton and I am 1/3 of Bolton Virtual Solutions, a team made up of me, Mum, and my two daughters, Sam and Amy. Our family virtual assistant agency's absolute passion is helping time-poor female entrepreneurs with those ridiculously long to-do lists, because we all know how they get longer instead of shorter, so that they're able to focus on doing what they love. You're going to want to stick around if you find yourself constantly just doing this thing quickly instead of spending time with your family, or if you look at your list of tasks and feel like crying, or even if you're just simply wondering how to manage your time better and delegate to your team. We're going to be covering topics from social media to marketing, systems and processes to outsourcing, and so much more, so that you can see what's possible for you and your business. So let's get stuck in. Welcome back to the Streamline and Shine podcast, and in this episode I'm talking about one of the biggest traps I see service providers fall into, and that is being too flexible with clients. So if you've ever bent your boundaries, reshuffled your week at the last minute, or replied to messages at 9 p.m, even though you swore you'd stop doing that, this is the episode you didn't know you needed. Okay. So many of us start our businesses with the mindset that we have to be the most helpful, the most available, the most accommodating service provider ever. And you think, if I just say yes, they'll love working with me. If I'm easygoing, they'll stick around. If I'm flexible, I'll be seen as professional. But here's the thing, flexibility is great until it turns feral. And that's just putting it bluntly, as I always do. When you say yes to too much too often, you create misaligned expectations, creep in scope, 11th hour panics, and most of all, resentment, which is not what any of us want. So let me tell you about early me. I once said yes to a same-day turnaround during a holiday week while I was supposed to be off. I wanted to be helpful, I wanted the client to feel supported, but what actually happened? I rushed the job. I made mistakes, I got behind on everyone else's work, and I felt panicked for days. All because I didn't want to seem difficult. That client didn't respect the boundary. And why? Because I hadn't set the boundary in the first place. So, we've got a rule of thumb that we use now, and that is, if flexibility is disrupting your flow, it's not working. And I want to give you some red flags to look out for. So if you're constantly rearranging your week to squeeze things in, if clients regularly miss deadlines or ignore your process, if you feel like your day-to-day is being dictated by the client instead of by your own structure, if any of these sound familiar, it's time to reclaim that structure. You can still be kind, you can still be human, and you can still be client first, but with structure. And here's how we do it. So we have clear office hours. So I'm going to give you an example of what our office hours will be when I go full-time in the business from September. So I will be doing client-facing work Tuesday to Friday, 9 till 4. Mondays will be my CEO day. So that is where I will make sure all of the back-end stuff is set up for the week. I know exactly what we're focusing on for the week. And if one of us is away, or we're all away, which will happen one day, then we'll obviously let clients know well in advance. But we do this because it sets expectations. So even if we reply outside that, clients know what's normal. That doesn't, just because we reply to a message, that doesn't mean that we're doing their work then and there. It means that we've acknowledged their message, we know what's needed, we know what's expected, we know what deadlines are, etc., etc. But clients know what our working hours are. So we then have cut-off deadlines, and that is, so we have set days for receiving content or client requests for the week. So anything after that rolls into the next one. No guilt, just systems. We then also have buffer days or buffer time. So we build in time each week when nothing's scheduled. That the time of that buffer time can change depending on our workload. But that way, if something urgent does come up, we've got the space. And if not, we get bonus breathing room, which is what everyone wants, really. And we also have professional boundaries in onboarding. So every client will receive a mini working together doc that covers communication expectations, turnaround times, what's included and what's not. And they don't question the process because it's been clearly set from day one. So let me give you a little bit of a mini client story. So one of our clients used to feel like she was constantly at her client's mercy. She'd drop her own tasks just to meet last minute requests, then wonder why she was behind every week. And we worked together to tighten her onboarding, set stricter response times and build in a buffer system. And within a month, she messaged me and said, for the first time in ages, I don't feel guilty for finishing work on time. Like, can you imagine how amazing that would feel? Finishing work at 3, 4, 5, whatever time you decide, finishing at that time, going to spend time with your family, enjoying your evening together and not having to worry about what's waiting for you because you know the boundaries have been set and they've been respected by your clients. Okay, if your client experience is starting to feel more like a free-for-all, let's fix that. Inside our Supreme Strategy sessions, we can map out a client delivery flow that feels good to you and gets results. We're talking clear systems, kinder boundaries, and more space for your actual CEO time. The link is in the show note. Right, so being flexible isn't the problem, but if you're constantly sacrificing your time, sacrificing your energy, and sacrificing your schedule for everyone else, that's not service, that is self-sabotage. So go away and have a think about what you can do to stop being too flexible for your clients and see what you can tweak, what boundaries you can set to make things easier on you and clearer for your clients. Next week, I'm walking you through how we went from totally frazzled to smooth, streamlined delivery behind the scenes. We're not talking 18-step funnels here. So until then, keep streamlining and shining and don't be afraid to say no because your future self will thank you for it. Thank you so much for listening to this episode of Streamline and Shine. If you have questions on what we covered inside, please feel free to reach out to us on Instagram at Bolton_virtual_solutions, or you can email us at teambolton@boltonvirtualsolutions.co.uk. We absolutely love hearing from our amazing community and are always here to support you. If you'd like to be interviewed on a future episode, please drop us an email letting us know which topic you'd like to speak about and we'll get back to you. See you on the next episode, lovelies.